Hey guys, Hu Sheng here. Welcome to another Starcraft 2 lesson. In this video, we're going to be looking at the game between Zoun and Armani in the GSL. So if you haven't watched this, maybe stop watching now so you don't get any spoilers. But I want to take a look at a couple key moments in this game. We're not going to analyze the entire thing. We're just going to go through it quickly. So Zoun's initial cannon rush at the top of this natural got denied. The probe was spotted, and I don't believe this is planned, but Zoun placed 3 pylons here, and I don't think it's planned because this particular area is not that sound. There's another cannon rush spot over here maybe that he could have used that I think is better, but the way he places these pylons, and especially the cannon, makes me think that this is just not planned and also just not sound, because if the cannon, like if these drones actually attack these pylons immediately, and there's 3 or 4 on each of these, then these pylons actually easily go down before the cannon finishes, and so this cannon shouldn't ever get powered, which means that this is basically a bluff. Like this isn't supposed to work, but for whatever reason Armani doesn't actually go for the pylons here, or at least maybe he didn't realize that the drones were not attacking this left pylon, so he gives up. Something like that, because yeah, these are definitely killable before this cannon finishes if it's done correctly. And there is one way, like this probe is on the left side, so that means there's at least 1 square at the top here. I'm not sure if there's 1 square at the bottom. If there's 2 squares here, like in this kind of box area, then what Zoun could have done is put the cannon here, and then when this pylon's right about to die, you can actually cancel it and remake a pylon 1 square to the left. If you can do that, then this cannon rush spot might be good, but yeah, like the way he places this cannon, and the way the pylons are placed, I'm pretty sure this just doesn't work. So Zoun missed that, I think. And then this cannon rush kind of gets rolling. He did get the probe, so he has to send another one, but it eventually works out, and Zoun gets the hatch. The next point I want to talk about is later, Zoun's build choice, because I think it's pretty smart for this map in particular. So he's getting the third base, but it's basically a fake third base, and he opens up with a void ray. So there's a couple key features you want to know to realize what he's doing. So the first one is that there's no tower near the Protest Natural. If we can maybe see if there's a screenshot of that. There's no tower near the Protest Natural, so the Overlord can't really see the gases, and it also can't see if there's any probes building at the Natural. However, there is a lot of space behind the bases. So what Zoun did is he cleared it with an Overlord, or sorry, a Void Ray, and so there's no way for Armani to see if any probes are building. And so he goes for a build that's basically cutting all probes on 2 bases with just a fake third. And so this is really, really powerful, especially on this map, because there is really no way for Armani to scout this. Like, you might be able to see that there's no probes building. But yeah, in this game, you just can't even see that. So Armani kind of has to assume that it's a normal standard Protoss build where Zoun is probing behind this and getting his Forged Twilight or Robo Bear or whatever he's planning to go into. But he has no idea. And also, from earlier, Armani is really behind because of the cannon rush. Or at least he might feel like he's behind and he needs to catch up. So what Armani did was delay this layer a ton. And he's not going for Overlord speed. So he basically can't scout this build at all. Like, there's literally no way he can scout this. So that's why Armani is droning so hard in this situation, and why Zoun is able to get such a strong attack set up here. So really, really smart play, kind of playing off the limited information of the map and the cannon rush. And yeah, just a smart build choice for game 1 of this series. Okay, I've jumped on to the second game of their series. And in this game, Zoun also chooses a pretty tactical build. So if you look on the minimap, you can see that Zoun's Overlords are basically, none of them are at the Natural. And of course, Zoun is playing on the Korean ladder, and so is Armani, so I'm sure they've faced off Armani has a barcode, but it's discovered. So, and he plays on it a lot. So I'm pretty sure Zoun knows how Armani plays, and we can see here that he's going for a Void Ray, but it's actually pretty late. It's at like 4 minutes that he would be clearing this Overlord, and normally you want to be checking the Protoss's gas at like 3:30, 3:45. So this is already like a really, if the Overlord could see the gases, then Armani would probably be very suspicious already, because this is just too late to not have your gases and not take a third base at like 4 minutes. So Armani would already be very, very suspicious of these late gases. And so I think this is a build designed to specifically counter Armani's playstyle without a Overlord on the cliff there, and also without Overlord speed or a fast Overseer scout. And then behind this, he makes a ton of charge lots. So really, really smart build here again from Zoun, just kind of capitalizing on Armani being a pretty heavy macro / greedy player. Okay, so now we're back in game 1 of their second series. And Armani is already changing things up. He's trying to adapt a little bit to Zoun's aggressive kind of all-in type style. So first off, we can't see it on the video right now, but Armani has his first Overlord at the pillar of Zoun, and he's picked up on the warp gate beginning. And so this is a pretty good sign that that Zoun isn't going for Oracle or a Stargate in general, or at the very least it's delayed. So this is a nice read already, and this is going to make a big difference, this Overlord positioning, because in the past 2 games Armani hasn't been able to see the gas or the pro production on this Nexus. And we also see the second Overlord getting into position. It's maybe a little slower than he would like, but he's going to be able to check the tech in just a second. We'll just actually jump to that. So he comes in here, he sees the Robo, he doesn't see anything else, but he sees the Robo, and he's gotten a very early Roach Warren, like 340-ish. So this is, well, it's a pretty safe timing. It's not a greedy or anything like the past couple games. And right here it's 420, and Armani has seen no gas at the natural of Zoun, so he knows that this is going to be pretty aggressive, and you can see he's going to immediately queue up a bunch of roaches. He also sees that Warp Prism, so I'm sure at this point he is very confident it's either or it's Adepts. It could be DTs, but it's pretty unlikely without those gases. So a bunch of roaches, bunch of lings, getting the safety spore just in case. And right here he sees the gases go down at the natural of Zoun. This doesn't mean a ton yet, but we're going to see that Overlord come into play in just a second, where Armani can get a bit more info. So very, very normal build from Zoun, to be honest. He throws down a Robobay now. And I think from Armani's perspective, he's wondering, like, is this going to be the type of all-in that we saw, was it, yeah, game 1, where he stayed on like 44 workers and just all in? Now, ideally, Armani has a Ling at the third of Zoun, because you would also love to see when Protoss gets that third base, but unfortunately he doesn't have that. Kind of a side note, but really, really nice bios here from Armani. And right here, we're going to see that Overlord really shine. I guess he cleans up these Adepts first. But as soon as he's, confident that this attack is over, he's going to start scouting and try to figure out what the follow-up is. So the camera is going to jump to the Overlord, and we're going to see that Zoun, or Armani, checks for the probe production. So Zoun is getting a third, and he is probing, but Armani needs to know whether it's an all-in. So you see this Overlord just kind of slightly move into the Nexus. This is because there's actually an animation if probes are building at the top. It's kind of like this little whirling thing you can see here. So Armani picks up on that, which means that Zoun is not doing an all-in. And what do we see from Armani immediately? He starts some drones. You can see he's actually a larva capped, but as soon as he gets larva from those injects, boom, tons of drones. And so, yeah, really, really nice adaptation from Armani in this game. And in the games following this, let's actually go look at those as well. So here we have the same map as one of the previous games. They've kind of been playing the same maps all series. And this game, Armani completely changes the overlord patterns from the first game. We can see that his first overlord didn't stop in the middle. It actually went straight across. And if I fast forward a little bit, you'll see that he actually just runs straight into the main of Zoun, which is completely different than the first game. So yeah, really trying to hard counter Zoun's style of denying the scout. And what this allows him to do is get this overlord straight into the back of Zoun's base, which is going to give him a little bit more info about what exactly Zoun is doing. And then Zoun goes for a void ray again, and Armani, I think this was planned beforehand, but Armani actually goes into overlord speed, which he did not do in their first game. So he's playing this one extra safe just to make sure Zoun can't do any crazy cheesy builds. And this carries over to the third game as well. Just the extra scouting, you know, really making sure Zoun is not up to no good. Yeah, just very cool adaptation that I noticed in this series, or these two series rather. Yeah, Zoun's very cool builds, kind of trying to abuse the maps, and then Armani's response, making sure that Zoun isn't going to get away with this. So hope you enjoyed this little analysis. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.